Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money channel. All right, so starting this off with the flight to crypto. I know I talked about this a little this morning. If you guys didn't catch this morning's video, I do urge that you watch it. I'll link it up here in the top right-hand corner. Basically, markets, traditional stock markets, they have been in the red. Meanwhile, cryptocurrencies in the green. So we are now seeing what is appearing to be decoupling from the regular space and crypto markets. Generally, risk-on assets, they go up at the same time. But now the crypto market is behaving a bit differently, and I have a feeling it's because institutions realize this is a new emerging asset class, and they're pulling their money out of the stock market and investing in something that is going to have longevity, at least for the next decade plus. Some major exchanges are even commenting on this down here, like the Kraken exchange. Store of value posting is so back. Unstoppable Domains is saying, the decoupling. Dash, the cryptocurrency Dash, is saying flight to digital cash when. David Goxstein saying, they are jumping ship. So, people are realizing that this is an ongoing trend. As of the time of this recording, we've got XRP up to about $2.10. When we take a look at Bitcoin, we've got Bitcoin at about 88,000. It's up a little bit, 88,600 as of the time of this recording. So guys, it's all moving in the right direction. And even though stock markets are plummeting, Jerome Powell says he's not budging. This courtesy of Vandell here. Jerome Powell was asked if the Fed would intervene if the stock market plummets. His laugh says it all. The Fed doesn't step in to protect investors. It steps in to protect the system. If markets crash or bond markets begin to break, intervention won't be a choice. History shows something always breaks at some point. Listen to this.
Some people believe the Fed will intervene if the stock market plummets, the so-called Fed put. Are they correct?
I'm going to say no with an explanation. So what I think is going on in markets is markets are processing what's going on. And, it's really the policies, particularly the trade policy. And really the question is, where's that going to come in? Where's that going to land? And we don't know that yet. And until we know that, you can't really make informed assessments that would still be highly uncertain. Once you know what the policies are, it'll still be highly uncertain what the economic effects will be. So markets are struggling with a lot of uncertainty, and that means volatility. But having said that, markets are functioning. Conditional on being in such a challenging situation, markets are doing what they're supposed to do. They're orderly, and they're functioning just about as you would expect them to function.
So at this stage in the game, I guess the losses aren't really shaking Jerome Powell. We've been waiting for a rate cut. I know President Donald Trump has been waiting for a rate cut. However, he's not budging, at least not at the moment. So I wanted to thank Vandell for that. Ashley Prosper bringing us, another topic here that I was discussing the other day. If you guys didn't catch the video I did yesterday, I will link it up here. Pope Francis dies, Klaus Schwab steps down. Iran and Russia, though, officially have now become allies, and China warns of retaliation for any country making trade deals with the United States. So this is all happening basically at the same time. And so, I was putting two and two together with the Pope Francis story and the Klaus Schwab story. But guys, we're getting more information. So I do suggest you watch that video if you want more context, all on the Queen's birthday, no less. Guys, this financial reset is now upon us. So just more speaking to that, I also wanted to make another Ripple connection that I didn't see yesterday. This courtesy of Mr. Mann. I do remember talking about this on my channel in the past, though. Ripple and the Vatican. There was always a plan from many years ago. This was a podcast sponsored by the Clearinghouse. I'm not entirely sure who's speaking here. It is a Ripple representative. Listen to this.
For about a year, I became involved in some of the more traditional sort of corporate philanthropic activities. And about 5 years ago, very early for a company of Ripple's size and stage, we decided to formalize Ripple's focus on impact and to create a team internally that worked on these 3 or 4 areas of focus.
And today we're going to focus on one of those pillars that you mentioned. Obviously, that's financial inclusion. So how does financial inclusion fit into what the company is doing?
So it's very central to what we do. Part of Ripple's founding idea was actually to democratize financial services. Our founder, Chris Larson, sometimes talks about making globalization work for everyone, completing globalization. So what we're doing from a business standpoint is improving both individual and household economics through things like faster, cheaper, more reliable remittances. But we're also doing what we can through philanthropic funding and partnerships with nonprofits, central banks, universities, and even the Vatican, even the Vatican. Generally, partners who are interested in finally moving the needle on financial inclusion with big, bold applications of fintech. This stuff is hugely important to our founder, Chris Larson, as mentioned, but it's also important to our board, our CEO, Brad Garlinghouse, and the entire leadership team. And we have a great swell of grassroots support within the rank and file of Ripple.
So a clear-cut connection mentioned there by a Ripple employee to the Vatican, and that basically promoting financial inclusion using Ripple as a mechanism for that. So there is, in fact, a clear-cut connection, or there was, that I just wanted to bring up in case you did see that video. And I knew we had talked about it on the channel at some point, and I just couldn't find the clip. But now, luckily, Mr. Man here did post that yesterday, so wanted to thank him for that. Guys, Ripple partner Thunes has launched a new global business payment service. This comes at a time of strong growth in the global business-to-business payment sector, with Thunes estimates reaching $150 trillion in 2024. So that's pretty big if you ask me. Global payment company Thunes has introduced Thunes Business Payments, a new service aimed at helping enterprises, merchant banks, and mobile wallet providers streamline international business transactions. The launch is targeted at members of Thunes' direct global network. The new solution provides access to local automated clearinghouses, or ACHs, systems in over 50 countries. This includes major markets such as Brazil, Canada, mainland China, Hong Kong, India, Mexico, Singapore, and the UK, and all across Europe as well. Businesses can also process US dollar wire transfers to more than 170 countries and make payments in over 30 currencies, including the US dollar, the euro, and the CNY. Thunes said its service is powered by an API, and enables faster cross-border payments. We know that API, guys. We know Thunes is officially a Ripple partner. This offers greater transparency in transaction costs and details, and reduces the complexity of using legacy systems. Businesses can pay suppliers in their local currencies, as we know, because FX trading is no longer a problem when you utilize XRP as that bridge currency. USD payouts are trackable, and single integration with Thunes' platform eliminates the need for businesses to build separate correspondent banking networks. So it all sounds very Ripple-y here, or XRPL-y here, if we were to really kind of drill down to see what Thunes is doing. We know they are a confirmed Ripple partner, as I mentioned, so it just makes sense. It's logical that this is the next step for this particular company. I also wanted to comment on this, guys. Deutsche Bank Standard Chartered eyes crypto comeback in the United States. So, Deutsche Bank, a Ripple partner, Standard Chartered, one of the original VC funders of Ripple from back in 2015 or 2016, maybe even before that, if I'm not mistaken. Legacy financial institutions, though, from global banks to regulators, have never been this pro-crypto until President Trump took office. So, this is important to note, guys. These companies, these are legacy systems, okay? Legacy banks, legacy financial institutions, they are now more pro-crypto than they ever have been, okay? In what is termed to be a seismic shift, global banking giants like Deutsche Bank and Standard Chartered are now planning to expand their presence in the United States. This according to the Wall Street Journal. Although the details are still unclear, the latest interest comes as traditional finance slowly shifts back towards crypto, especially after the collapse of FTX and the shutdown of key crypto-friendly banks. So that was, the catalyst that they keep talking about, but we knew that was never really going to last. That was just the catalyst to crash the market last time, in my opinion. The rising client demands new revenue opportunities, regulatory clarity, and the bank's urge to stay competitive in the ever-evolving market. So now these banks are finding an outlet to do so. With Trump's promise to make the U.S. the crypto capital of the planet, these banks seem more ready now than ever to jump in. And of course, stablecoin regulation is going to play a large role in this as well. Several crypto firms like BitGo, Circle, Coinbase, Paxos are all planning to apply for bank charters or licenses as they plan to expand their operations in the United States. Currently, Anchorage Digital is the only crypto company in the U.S. with a federal bank charter. However, it has spent millions of dollars to comply with the regulatory requirements and is currently under investigation. So there's another side note there. However, guys, it's just take a look at the names: Deutsche Bank, Standard Chartered, two huge banks that are connected to Ripple. Smoke here, even commenting on the Ripple documentation, some of the banks that have been integrated. As he mentions here, Deutsche Bank already integrated, and here from another This is just from another a document here from a while ago. Mr. Burles says that Ripple developed its technology with scalability in mind. To deploy something for Standard Chartered, Santander, or Bank of America, or our solution needs to scale to hundreds of thousands of transactions per second. So they mentioned Standard Chartered. There's also documentation stating that Standard Chartered is in fact, or was in fact, one of the original VC funders of Ripple. And now they're finally stating they are doubling down. They are basically all in on crypto adoption. So wanted to thank Smoke for that. We've been talking a lot about this new financial reset, a monetary reset, and this is a leader of one of the more far-right parties in Canada, Maxime Bernier. The monetary reset is happening before our eyes. This is what he says, okay? Tariffs are just a sideshow. The real problem is dealing with the massive unsustainable debt accumulated over decades. We're going to pay it back through money debasement and inflation. There is no free lunch. Fiat currencies are collapsing while gold keeps reaching new all-time highs. I guess, we probably should take a look at gold. I don't think we've taken a look at it today yet. XAU. Did I do it in this morning's video? I don't think I did. I think I was going to, and then I forgot. Here we go, guys. Gold, as of the time of this recording, seeing another high. Yesterday it was at, where was it at yesterday? It was at 3,000, almost 3,400. And let me throw that on the hourly. And just going to bring that back down there. So it did actually go higher. Now it is retracing a little bit. Gold currently is trading in and around 3,449, but did actually reach a high, guys, of about 3,500. And gold, as we know, is important, okay? It's reaching new all-time highs. Americans can't continue to live beyond their means with the dollar as the world reserve currency. The world is de-dollarizing and the U.S. empire is giving way to a multipolar world. The transition will be painful. Trump knows it, and that's why he's pushing for a quick reset. Unfortunately, Canada is not prepared. Our establishment is clueless. We're the only major country with no gold reserve, and that is because Mark Carney, the former governor of the Bank of Canada and the former governor of the Bank of England and the current Canadian Prime Minister, decided to sell Canada's gold to, guess who? Great Britain, right before he took the job over there, no less. We must build one with all the gold we have in the ground. Fasten your seatbelt. This will have a huge impact on your life. Whoever wins this election, okay, so he was retweeting out, so he's talking about the Canadian election, but he was retweeting out Donald Trump's tweet here, the golden rule of negotiation and success, or negotiating and success. He who has the gold makes the rules. Which brings me to this video, guys. It's an 18-minute video, and I'm not going to play you guys the full thing, but I will link this tweet in the description of the video. Another interesting projection here of a gold price prediction, resetting gold. We've talked about this. Of course, the new monetary system is changing, and DLT technology is going to tokenize all this movement. But gold is still going to play, physical gold, still going to play a central role in the monetary system. So this courtesy of Mike Maloney. He says they are prepping for a golden reset.
People have been asking me for a price target on gold. What is the price ultimately going to be? And I usually will, I've given a few price predictions, except I will usually say it doesn't matter what the price is. It matters what the value is. How much can you buy with your gold and silver? But today, I'm going to give you a price target, and I am going to give you a rough idea of the dates that this should happen, and based on a series of breadcrumbs, a trail of breadcrumbs, and you need to connect the dots and see where you think this is going, because I think that this is huge. Now, I'm going to present all of the evidence later in this video, but first, I've got to read to you from my book, The Great Gold and Silver Rush of the 21st Century, in which I predicted this. And it's all based on evidence and history. So just connect these dots as we go and see what you think.
Okay, I'm going to stop it there for a second. I'm just going to get to the nuts and bolts here. So he talks about it in his book, gives us some history. But really, I wanted to, he talks about the various different gold periods in time. But what I wanted to do was bring you guys to some more statistics, okay? And you can watch this. You can, I link this in the description. You guys can watch it at your leisure if I'm going too fast here. Here he talks about how the United States did not have gold and how they are reaccumulating gold. Listen to this.
Now, I'm going to take a detour and show you the breadcrumbs, and then I'll finish this last paragraph. Just after President Trump was elected, massive gold inflows started coming into the United States. And then 2 months ago, he started talking about auditing Fort Knox, that we've got to go to Fort Knox and make sure the gold is really there. And so I want to show you, I use the Swiss gold exports because this is the major portion of where, but there's other sources of gold. It's just that they're very opaque. The Swiss gold exports, they do very accurate reporting, and so it's very transparent. So this is January of 2024, and what you're interested here, you can see China here is a big bar at 78.5 tons, and all the way over on the right is the United States with only 1.6 tons. And then we've got February at 1.6 tons, March at half a ton, April at half a ton, May at 0.7 tons, June at 1.4 tons, July at 7.9 tons, August at 0.6 tons, September at 6.2, October at 9.2, November at 5.9, and now you get to December. What happened to China? What happened to India? The rest of the world is being shut off from being able to buy gold from the Swiss refineries. 64.5 tons going to the United States. January of 2025, 193.4 tons, and the rest of the world has been turned off. China, 0.2 tons. And then February, and this is the last date of March numbers aren't out yet, but 146.8 tons, and still the rest of the world is shut off. Now, this is not retail investors. This is whales that are buying. The retail investors, this is U.S. Mint gold coin sales, down over the past 2 years. U.S. Mint silver coin sales, down. The Perth Mint gold coin and bar sales, down. Perth Mint silver coin and bar sales, down severely. And this is very disappointing to me. The mission of goldsilver.com is to save the middle class one investor at a time, and this is not the middle class that's in this. These are some super whales that are buying, and then people in the know in government that are front-running, and the U.S. government giving the Federal Reserve time to restock Fort Knox, the Denver Mint, and the West Point Mint with all of the bars of gold. And we will know if this has happened if we get a true audit that has bar purities on it. If you get the bar weights and the bar purities, Fort Knox was mostly full of coin melt bars from the gold nationalization of 1933. They melted down all of those coins, and so they're only 92%. They're not 999 fine. So these are the net gold imports and exports. So the U.S. is always a gold exporter. Remember that. But there are only 2 years since 1992. Well, there is that 1 year in the early 2000s where at 21 metric tons coming into the United States, but that's almost nothing. And then 2016 was 7 tons. But 697 tons coming in 2020 when everybody thought the world was going to end due to COVID. And then this year with 577 tons for January and February. This doesn't include March yet. And so when the March numbers hit, this is going to be the biggest gold inflows probably since World War II.
So, guys, this is really, really big. And the next thing he talks about is Scott Bessent's comments here from this interview, which I actually did a video on this specific interview with Scott Bessent. And I'll link that video up here if you guys want to see my video on that. But these numbers staggering, 577 tons for January and February alone. The U.S. is certainly planning something. They are looking to accumulate, the government's looking to accumulate more gold, obviously. Maybe, more inclination that a new gold standard is going to take place. Prepping, again, for a gold reset. So, a lot of interesting concepts here. Talks about currency in circulation and gold per the gold to dollar ratio. Again, a lot of great information, but I really kind of wanted to bring you guys to the end here. Michael Maloney, he thinks gold will be revalued by the United States. Listen to this.
The other forms of collateral here, they don't need the special drawing rights or the U.S. Treasuries. And they can back the U.S. dollar, the Federal Reserve notes, with 100% gold once again. So if you do that math, what is the price prediction? Well, it's $9,044 per ounce today. However, the U.S. probably wants a little bit of runway here. We do deficit spending every single year, and it's already baked into the cake for this year and next. And so if they just add a little bit to this, you come up with a nice round number. So when you make a price prediction and a time prediction, you are almost always going to be wrong. But I'm going out on a limb here and saying $10,000 per ounce, and it's probably going to be sometime this year. I hope this makes you very happy if you're a gold bug, or a gold investor. And if you're not, perhaps you should consider becoming one.
So $10,000 per ounce, ultimately, just to make it a round number, but realistically today, and he said this is the value today, $9,044. So, he who holds the gold makes the rules. If we do see a financial reset and, if these numbers continue, if, the Trump administration does continue to accumulate gold, at the rate that they have been accumulating for the first 2 months of the year, again, this gentleman here, Mike Maloney, he did say that these numbers don't even include March or April yet, and April's almost over. If we do see the United States holding more of the gold and there is a revaluation taking place anywhere between $9,000 to $10,000 per ounce, that is going to shake the world. A new system will be born, and guys, guess which blockchain is likely going to tokenize the lion's share of it? The XRP ledger, leveraging XRP for that liquidity. It's all very exciting. It all does tie together. Hopefully you guys are hodling, and for more information on what I'm hodling, where I'm going to sell, what I'm going to be keeping, 2025 is shaping up to look very, very interesting. You can follow me at patreon.com/workingmoneychannel. I'm going to also mention that I have relaunched the Working Money Channel merch store. I got a lot of great merchandise here, 15-ounce mugs for those of you guys interested, XRP caps as well, and for this month, April, I'm offering 20% off. I know it's tax season, so you guys probably want to catch a break somewhere. Check it out. It comes in all kinds of colors, too. The XRP cap right here, link is in the description of the video, but that's just my opinion. I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.